Hey everyone, this is Marissa from Grow in the Flow, and I'm popping in here real quick today to take a look at the new moon energy. We have the new moon in Aquarius coming up tomorrow, and I thought we would take a peek in the Queen of the Moon Oracle to see what we can expect with the energies around this new moon. Kind of setting up my space here. I like to tune in the day or so leading up to the new moon to kind of see what's coming in. So I've got that all set up here, and I have brought in the air elemental spray. Since this new moon is in Aquarius, and I've been feeling a lot of air energy for a lot of people, a lot of swords energy with thoughts and clarity, ideas, things that are coming in. Also communication, things that need to be aired, spoken, released, communicated. So I brought that energy in here as well. So I am going to pull usually 3 cards around the new moon. I'll pull the first card, what is rising up in me this new moon? So let's get a sense for the collective, what is rising up for us this new moon? Second card, what is the main message this new moon? And the third card is the final outcome. What lies beyond this new moon? What is this bringing in for us, and what can we expect on the other side of this new moon? Okay. So we will see what we've got here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So the first card that we're talking about is what is rising up in me? And this is where we see this card assessing. We're talking about really taking a moment, taking a beat to get a look at what we can expect is coming in. And so as it's depicted here, she is looking out at the moon. This card represents the first quarter moon. But what this is saying is that it's a time to assess your current position, to take a look at the status of things, where you are, checking out to see whether you have any blind spots or areas that you haven't explored or something that you're not seeing, that she's showing here, that she's getting this wider lens perspective of. And also making sure that, again, bringing in that air energy, that you are being honest with others and most importantly, yourself. So sometimes, the hard decision is the best decision. It might be uncomfortable. It might be difficult. We might be hesitating to make those hard decisions, but they end up being the best decisions. So it is a matter of taking the moment to assess and pretty quickly getting your bearings, getting an idea of what's going on, and then make the moves that are necessary for that. So, this has a lot to do with these new beginnings that are coming in. We're beginning these new journeys, and so we're in this process of assessing and seeing what is coming next. And so, I get the feeling most of us have been walking this path for some time. So this isn't necessarily a new path, but rather one that we've been on for some time, but we're sort of rounding that curve, getting an idea about, okay, let's stop for a second, pull out the map, take a look, see where we're at, and get our bearings. Sometimes we find ourselves sort of wandering down a pathway for quite a while, even after it's no longer serving us. We're heading down in a direction that is not good for us. And so we have this opportunity to sort of pause, take a look, see where we've come from, what appears to lie ahead, and reassess whether we want to continue walking that path or if we want to take another direction. So I feel like, the energy that this new moon is bringing in is an opportunity to really look at all of that. Looking at, where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go, assessing and deciding pretty quickly, what that looks like moving forward. So in the second position, we have what is the main message? And I love this card. It is a beautiful card called Blossoming. And it is showing this woman who is playing the violin, and she has this flower-covered dress on. And it really does have to do with coming into your own, blossoming, blooming. And I have been getting that analogy a lot, this idea of, being that flower, the bud that may be tightly closed and hasn't yet opened and is coming into that point of blossoming. So, recognize that what is really coming in here, the main message is, after you've assessed, after you decide which direction you're heading, you're really moving into this place where you're going to be ready to open up and come into full bloom. This is what you've been planning for. This is where you've been wanting to go, and now here it is. So it does have to do with, being ready to open up and rise, and recognize that there could be other people around you who may be a little envious of that, who look at your progress and maybe feel like, a little envious of the fact that, they may not be where you are on your path. And that's just a natural process of progression. That's, ego and the different lower vibrational energies that come in. And so, you may experience some of that, but that doesn't stop you from shining anyway, from blooming anyway. And then also, playing the violin here, it really speaks to, again, tuning into your instrument, practicing your craft, practicing, using that discernment, that listening ear to really fine tune all of that energy for you. And so, this new moon is bringing in that energy of really getting that clarity and then taking the steps to open up in that way. So then the final position is, what is on the other side of this new moon? What can we expect from all of this that's coming in? And we're getting the self-love card, which is beautiful as well. So here she is again with these flowers in her hair, and she is loving herself. And this is something, of course, that, it's kind of an overutilized term these days, self-love, self-care. But it is so important, because now that your flower is opening, you're blooming, you need to care for that. You really need to protect and nurture this flower, what you have that has come forward. And so this is really reminding us how that empowerment starts from the inside out. So we're beginning with ourselves, and it cautions us again not to get into that comparison thinking. So again, in the same way that, you could have things that are opening up for you and other people are looking at you with some degree of envy, jealousy, that you too could be witnessing other people who are opening in some type of way that you have not yet reached. And to remember to not engage in the comparison thinking. Everybody is moving in their own pace, at their own time, in divine timing. And so it is a reminder not to get into that comparison thinking. And the way that you start to do that is to redirect your focus to yourself. Redirect what you're looking at to your own growth, your own expansion. And of course, I always call it the not enough isms, where we think that we're not enough of something. We're not smart enough. We're not pretty enough. We're not young enough. We're, whatever it may be that has us thinking that we are not enough. And then to set that off, we have the too much. We are too fat, too old, too inexperienced, whatever it is that we're telling ourselves, the negative self-talk that keeps us playing small. That is what this new moon is bringing in. And you see here that the theme of the Aquarius new moon from the Moonology deck is bring love into the situation. Okay. So in whatever way that you're feeling limited, that you're feeling closed, that you're feeling, not enough love towards yourself to nurture your blossoming flowers, bring love into that situation. And allow that to really wash over everything, where we're looking at it as understanding that we are enough just as we are. And that, we're given these gifts, we're given these abilities to work with and make something beautiful, which is uniquely different. Like each of these flowers on her dress are all different, but they're all beautiful in their own unique way. So again, the comparison craziness, it's just a diversion. It keeps us playing small. It keeps us, our ego telling ourselves that we're not enough, that, that it's never going to happen, etc. We're being invited to shift away from that thinking and to bring in this self-love. So I think that's pretty beautiful. And I think it's an extension of a lot of the messages that were coming through yesterday with diligently working, persevering, and recognizing that everyone is doing so using their own unique gifts and talents. So I think I'll pull one last card here just to see an overarching message for us as we move on into this new moon energy. And this is such a great time for you to be setting intentions, making your new moon wishes, what it is that you'd like to bring forward throughout this cycle. So it's a great time for you to make a list of those things, to write them down, set those intentions. Okay, so we'll just get a little punctuation mark here. Aha, the masculine. All right, so I think this is telling us that there is some fiery action coming in. So on the other side of this softer, just observing and allowing ourselves to open in love, we will then have this masculine energy of the yang, the fire energy, to take action and to do. So it's exciting. It's very exciting. And it's an opportunity for each of us to continue to bloom. It's happening. So thank you for joining me to check out these cards and kind of tap into the energy. I really appreciate you. I wish you all the best, and I'm sending you many blessings and wishing you a happy new moon in Aquarius. Take care.